Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. And today on the show, for the first time ever, I have Stephanie Haygood, and she is with the Doug Gabriel Show. So I look forward to talking to her, learning more about her career here in Branson. It's basically the start of September, and so folks, you have really about 2 months to come to Branson for the fall season in September, October. There's lots of fall festivals. Of course, when you start thinking about fall, you start thinking about crafts festivals here in the Branson area. And then, of course, we have all these pumpkins. And so, Shepherd of the Hills has a great festival out there, as well as Silver Dollar City and their pumpkins in the city. So maybe you're like, hey, where should I go this fall? Branson is the perfect place for you to take that fall trip. And then in November, December, we have Ozark Mountain Christmas starting November 1st. So if you haven't made your fall vacation plans yet, you need to come to Branson. You're going to be blown away by all that there is to do here, whether it's the shows, attractions, the lakes, golfing. In fact, the other night I went out to Mountaintop Grill out at the Branson Creek area, overlooking all the new golf courses that Johnny Morris has built out there. And it was just the most amazing meal, the most amazing sunset. If you haven't been out there and checked that out, you should go do that. It was great. And so, folks, we're going to be back in just a second with Stephanie Haygood. Hang tight.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need iBranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at iBranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. iBranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. And on today's show, we have Stephanie Haygood. First time ever on this show, so welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So maybe, being the first time, I think a lot of people don't know your history. Mm-hmm. And I had a hard time finding that history out. So I'd love for you to talk to people about your background and how you got into the entertainment scene here in Branson.
Okay. So I grew up singing in church, like a lot of people do. And then it just was a passion of mine. Music was a passion. Theater was a passion of mine. So all through high school, I was involved in all the show choirs, the bands, the drama, and it was there, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And so that's what I studied in college, and I graduated with my vocal performance Bachelor of Music degree in 2004.
Where did you go?
I went to Missouri Southern State University in Joplin. Okay. And so then I moved here in 2005 in the summer, and just started to try to audition to get my foot in the door. And I was very thankful and blessed that I was able to get my foot in the door pretty quickly after moving here. So I started out with the Magnificent Seven variety show and was with them for 4 years. And then 18 years later, I've done different shows in town. I've done the number one hits of the 60s. We had our own show that I and my husband produced together with Barry Williams, 70s Music Celebration. Yes. A lot of fun. And he was a wonderful, wonderful person to work with. He was so genuine. And so that actually taught me a lot about the behind the scenes kind of stuff, and really gave me a deeper appreciation for the production side of things, with the costuming and the choreography and the scheduling and all the things like that. So I kind of got a taste of both worlds, and I actually really enjoyed it. But yeah, did that for 4 years also, and then random here and there, number one hits of the 60s, Red Hot and Blue.
That's a show you have to dance a lot.
Oh my goodness, yes. It was a workout, and it was a morning show. So, I mean, you had to be awake to do that show first thing in the morning.
So I want to go back for a second, because you graduated college and you're like, I'm going to Branson and I'm going to try and find a job there. Like that, a lot of people wouldn't necessarily take that path, but I love it, because there's this perception sometimes that Branson is just for old entertainers.
Right.
And I think if you've watched this show for any length of time, you know I've dispelled that myth or rumor. But here's another example of it. Like, you're coming here as a young performer, and you've been able to make kind of a career of this.
Yes. And I'm very blessed to do that too, because music and theater, when you're studying that, I mean, just like deciding you want to be an actor, a dancer, a singer, I mean, your margin is pretty small to think that, oh, well, I'm just going to step out and I'm just going to become a star. Right. Your margin's pretty small doing that. And so it usually you've got like a backup plan. And I just kind of kept in the back of my mind, like, okay, well, I could always go back to school if this doesn't work out and figure out something else to do with my life. But my passion was so strong that it was like, no, this is what I want to do, and I'm just going to do it, and and see where it goes. So
you're at the Doug Gabriel Show now, and how long have you been there?
This is my second season with them. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful people. They are just true, genuine people. They actually approached me. We go to church together, and they actually approached me and asked me if I'd be willing to do the show. Because Cheryl, his wife, she's also in the show, but she's also a registered nurse at the hospital in town. And there were times, there's times where she may be at the hospital and they say, you can't leave today, or we just scheduled a 9:30 meeting and she's got a 10 o'clock show. And so they always had a swing for that. And then they finally just said, why don't we just hire someone full time? So we always have someone here, to just step in any case. So on every day I do my own stuff in the show. And then on certain days, I'll do Cheryl's stuff as well. Yeah. Just so they have that cushion in case she can't.
Yeah. So folks, we do have a previous episode of Play Branson with Cheryl and Jasmine on it. In fact, we had to film it really fast because she had to get to a meeting at the hospital. I remember this well because they were like, Chris, you got to be quick and on time. We did it. We got her in. And then we've also had Doug on the show as well. Now, your last name is Haygood, so we have to talk about that because some people might just say you're in the Haygood Show.
Right.
That is not true.
Nope. Patrick and I have always said we don't mix business with pleasure. So, no, I've always had my own thing. And then, of course, he has the show with his family as well. And we dated for 8 years before we got married. And we're actually celebrating 17 years next week.
Congratulations.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah. So, I think it works best like that. Not that we don't work well together. Like I said, we co-produced the 70s show together, and we actually gel really well on a business level. And we used to own Mr. B's ice cream parlor in downtown. And so that taught us a lot too about being co-workers also. And we gel really well. Yeah. But yeah, as far as the show goes, we've always just kind of kept it his thing, my thing.
Yeah.
And
so if you didn't figure this out, she's married to Patrick.
If
you didn't
figure piano player.
The piano player. And sometimes entertainers, they take, when they do get married, they keep their original name, and other times they don't. And so obviously you took the Haygood last name. And
just figured, why not?
Yeah. So besides the 2 4-year stints, is there any other place where you were there quite a while?
So that was 4 years. I was 4 years. Yes, I did Joe Hall's Elvis Experience. He's not here anymore. But it was actually 4 seems to be my lucky number, I guess, because I was with him for 4 years as well. During Mag 7 though, during that 4-year run, I was doing Red Hot Blue at the same time. Yeah. And I was with them for 2 years, I think. But pretty much I had 3 4-year runs with 1 sprinkled in between.
There we go.
And then after our daughter was born, I thought, okay, I think I might be done. I'm getting older, my body's not 20 anymore. And I thought, I think I'm good to kind of start pulling back. And each year since she's been born, I've actually gotten a call to do something. And so I'm like, well, I guess God's not done yet, with what I'm supposed to be doing. So, but I have pulled back a lot, with schedule and stuff. it used to be easy to do 2 shows a day, 12 shows a week,
Well, it gets harder when you have kids too.
Yes. But that's another thing that I love about Doug and Cheryl's show is, especially because it's a morning show for our family, it's perfect because the kids are in school. So I'm able to we take the kids to school and then I can go do a show and it doesn't conflict and I haven't missed any, school performances or anything like that.
Yep. Okay, folks, we're going to be back in just a second. We're going to learn more about the Doug Gabriel Show here in just a moment, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We are here with Stephanie Haygood with the Doug Gabriel Show. And so, Stephanie, tell us, if somebody's maybe never seen the show, tell us what they can experience and kind of walk us through that.
Okay. It's a great show. It really is. And Doug's been around for 36 years in town having his own show. So especially to a lot of the younger generation who thinks that maybe he's one of those older entertainers that's been out there, his show is not what you expect. It's definitely high energy. Doug is killing it. I mean, he really is. But with his whole family in the show, Josh and Jordan and Jasmine, Josh and Jordan do a lot of the production with Doug. And so they keep it really edgy as well. So we cover country, some older country, but some newer country, more modern country. Doug does a lot of his own music in the show. He's a gospel songwriter, so if you like gospel music, we have a gospel section. But also the second half it's all 80s rock and roll.
All 80s.
So it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And they give glow sticks to the kids at intermission, so it's just really fun to when the curtain opens just to see glow sticks going in the audience and everything. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. We do, of course, patriotic section honoring our veterans.
So let's talk about 80s because I grew up in the 80s.
Yep.
And so can you tell us a couple of the songs that are in the show?
Jesse's Girl. We do some Bohemian Rhapsody. I Want to Dance with Somebody. I Will Survive. Power of Love. There's a really fun comedy segment in there with Jordan that kind of touches on Back to the Future. So we got some Back to the Future music in there as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing is and I was just thinking about this yesterday and I said, I've been in Branson for 30 years. Mm-hmm. And when I got here was the boom.
Yeah.
And that's when really 60 Minutes had just hit. And that catapulted Branson. And they were like, were you here before 60 Minutes or after 60 Minutes? Because people literally got in their car and moved here.
Yeah.
Because they saw this story on 60 Minutes. And, Mel Tillis calling it the little richest town in America. But, people always said, it's not going to last. It's not going to last. Not going to last. And now here we are, literally 30 years later. Mm-hmm. And so in that course of time, that 30 years, guess what? That audience member has changed. Mm-hmm. And so, I think it's great when I hear you guys doing 80 music because that now hits what I'd call the 50 and 60-year-olds.
Right.
Because that's when we grew up.
Well, and it's great, too, because Branson, a few years ago, it was what they would consider a baby boomer town. And now the baby boomer generation has now shifted to their kids. But now what we're seeing a lot at the shows, it's the grandparents bringing their grandkids to the show. So that's kind of neat too, because now you've kind of got the first, second, and now third generation that is coming here, and especially with all the attractions and stuff like that, and the show's shifting a bit, you know, with like their audience genres and stuff. It's nice because it's still offering Branson a little mix of everything, you know, and offering these families not just what we consider baby boomer music.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's really catapulted.
I like to use the word head bobbing. When I go to a show, I'll see a lot of people doing this. And, I went to a show the other night, and as I was looking to my left, I could see people they knew all the words and lyrics to the songs, and they were into it. And I love that. I love that when I go and watch other people's reactions. Doug is also a really accomplished guitar player.
Yes.
And so does he do some like solo guitar work?
Yes, he actually does Meligania. And it was actually Roy Clark, which was a friend of his at the time. And Roy Clark was known to be an expert guitar player. So he kind of does one of Roy Clark's songs, Meligania, as a tribute to Roy Clark and the time that he spent in Branson working with him. And it's a lot of finger work.
Yeah.
It really, really is. But he also plays piano. I mean, he's a really talented musician. He really is.
So when you're singing on stage, and you said sometimes that changes, what are you doing on stage?
I am anywhere from doing like backups for Doug, or there's a couple times I'm actually changing my clothes and singing at the same time right off the stage. And then, we do some creative movement behind him as well. And then when, when there's times like I do solos as well, or if Cheryl's not there, I do her solos and my solos. So I kind of do a little bit of just depending on what the day is, you know. Okay. I'm always doing my stuff, which is the backup vocals and stuff like that. But then on any given day, I might have a little bit more sprinkled in.
It can vary.
Yeah, it does.
It can vary. So the show is at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And it is at the Branson Famous Theater. That's on Highway 165. If you're not sure what the name of that theater is and you're thinking other people at the theater, think the Ball Knobbers, think Reza. That lineup at that theater has stayed pretty consistent for the last couple of years, with at least the three of them in that. Way back in the day, it used to be where the Acrobats performed, but it's now been the Branson Famous Theater, I guess is what they call it, for several years now. You will see the Doug Gabriel Show 10 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I've got most weeks.
Yes.
And that is through the fall. And then November and December, all the way to December 31st. So, like, you guys are really running. And there's times in there where they may take a few days off here or there, but really, you guys are running till the end of the year. Yes,
I think we take a little bit of a break for Christmas. But we come back, I think, the week after Christmas, and we finish out the year, and we're getting into busy time with buses and the fall coming, and so we're pretty excited. But we just add the sporadic days or the extra days onto the schedule once we get into the fall.
Yep. So folks, be sure to go check out Doug Gabriel. And you'll see Stephanie there when you go. So any other last minute thoughts on the show?
You got to come see it. It really, really is. It's actually very surprising, and we touch on everything for every age genre, and it's a really great show. Okay. I have a lot of fun.
Another great family show here in Branson, brought to you by families. And I tell you all this all the time, Branson is the top family-friendly entertainment destination in the country. So we'll be back in just a second to wrap the show up. Hey folks, we're wrapping the show up today, and want to let you know that you can go see Doug Gabriel over at the Branson Famous Theater. That show is at 10 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday most weeks. They'll be going all the way through December 31st. So be sure to check out that show. It's one of the longest running shows in Branson. Doug and his family do an excellent job entertaining Branson visitors. Next week's entertainer is Marty Scott with the Liverpool Legends. He hasn't been on the show since, I think, 2018, about 4 years ago. So we're glad to have him back on the show. We've got some great upcoming events this month in September. On September 9th, Colin Ray will be out at Silver Dollar City's amphitheater, followed by Sammy Kershaw the next night. And then on September 10th, we also have Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias over at Black Oak Amphitheater. Then the following weekend, we have Chris Cagle on September 16th and John Conley September 17th. The Oak Ridge Boys are going to be making lots of appearances here this fall, starting on September 21st and 22nd, followed by dates in October. Jimmy Fortune, September 22nd. And then our fall festivals really kick off with Shepherd's Pumpkin Fest, September 23rd through October 30th, and the Harvest Festival, September 21st through October 29th, featuring crafts and pumpkins in the city. And then, guess what? Terry Bradshaw, yes, the Terry Bradshaw you have seen on NFL commentator. He will be in Branson doing a show September 30th. So you'll want to be sure to check these special events as well as all of our other great shows that are here all the time. If you need help planning your vacation, you can go to ibranson.com. Those folks can help plan your entire vacation, or you can call them at 877-ENTERTAIN. Great service from local people without those costly Ticketmaster service fees. So check them out. And be sure to like us on Facebook. If you haven't been to Facebook and liked us, or go to YouTube and follow us there. We have channels there. Or you can go to PlayBranson.com. So we'd love your feedback. Let us know who you'd like to see on a future Branson episode of Play Branson. We'll be back next week with more Play Branson.